The combination of large numbers of migrants, particularly Muslim migrants, the very insecure economic environment after years of the Euro crisis, the rise of the nationalistic far right, and the lack of the institutional mechanisms in the European Union to handle refugees at this number poses a very potentially dangerous threat to the whole European project. I'm Sony Kapoor. I run an international think tank called Redefine. I advise several European governments and international institutions on macroeconomics, the financial system, as well as governance issues. The EU remains history's most successful peace and prosperity generating project, despite all recent problems. Mrs. Merkel, who must be applauded for her very benign stance, very open stance to welcoming refugees, has been perhaps the most prominent European leader who has displayed leadership on this. If people are so desperate that they are fleeing and risking death, and given that Germany was responsible for driving millions of people out of Europe as refugees, it is incumbent upon Germany to be the country that takes the lead in welcoming people fleeing from conflict elsewhere. There's a lot of fear-mongering in Germany as well as elsewhere. Some of them are to do with, oh, refugees carry diseases. Some of them are to do with, oh, refugees have a very anti-female, anti-women attitude. Some of them are refugees or might be fundamentalist Muslims or terrorists. And all of this, the numbers are very clear, is essentially nonsense. This so-called refugee crisis offers a huge opportunity to start tackling head-on the single biggest structural challenge to the economic future and prosperity of the European Union, which is the declining population, the aging demographic, and the very low growth. The biggest projections are that the EU will get 3 million migrants over 2 years, that's 2016 and 2017, or actually perhaps even over 3 years. So these numbers are still smaller than what has been estimated what Europe needs. Explaining to citizens that migrants coming in can help plug what most citizens care about, gaps in provision of social services, teachers in schools that have shortage of staff, construction workers, doctors. I think the economic benefits are a slam dunk. It is hard to predict which direction Europe will go in, but I think overall Europe has, particularly post Second World War, shown the ability to reinvent itself.